reason why I tried to organize this is, let me tell you briefly about the reason why I organized this forum. Kam Agong is my mother-in-law, married to Agnes in 1998, around that, and became part of her family, and I inherited a wonderful mother-in-law by the name of Kam Agong, and that's the picture. In 2002, March 19th, that will be tomorrow, exactly 10 years, she died of secondary postpartum hemorrhage. What is secondary postpartum hemorrhage? Is severe bleeding. Severe bleeding because of infection. Okay? I will tell you a little bit more about that. But this forum, why I have organized this forum, is to highlight the maternal care problem, and also healthcare problems in Sarawak. All right, which I personally know what's going on, and we, the family of Kam Agong and many families in Sarawak, had to endure a horrible, deplorable healthcare standard. All right, that's the reason. In fact, we have actually brought a case against the government, and we won the case, 100% medical negligence, and we got 138,000 ringgit damages. All right, I just don't know if that's the value of a life of a mother, despite 100% medical negligence. But it is not about the money. I cannot counter-sue, I cannot re-sue or sue again for a bigger, larger compensation. But we want to highlight what is going on in Sarawak, especially with mothers, what they are trying to do, and what they have done all this while. All right. Okay, let me take you to the next slide. I've just created this slide, and you can see some of these pictures later. This is how I just want to give you how a mother, when she delivers a child, how painful it is. It is this. Okay, 45 decibel unit of pain. I think that's what DL means. That is normal pain that any human being can endure. But when mother suffers 57 del units of pain, similar to 20 bones getting fractured at a time. So that is delivery for you. So when you go back home, say thank you to your mother. I wonder what she had endured during this period. Right? So this is the pain every mother, not only Kam Agong, but every mother in this country, they have to endure this during their labor pain. Alright? Minus the 9 months that they have to carry the child and go through all other morning sickness and everything else. So I've got 5 children, I know. But my wife knows. So what happens in Sarawak? In Sarawak, we don't have a specialist. In Sarawak, major, like for example, the hospital where Kam Agong delivered, had a Caesarean section. There's no gynae. Alright, there's no gynae. So even if you're going to do a Caesarean section, so you need to have a specialist doing it. If you're not a specialist, it will be a fatal surgery. Alright? It will be a fatal surgery. You have all sorts of things, especially infection of the uterus. Infection of the uterus. So this is absolutely a serious condition that, in fact, Kam Agong had endured during her period of Caesarean section as well as post-Caesarean section. Right. So this is what she had endured, but just giving you a slight thing about healthcare. I'm just building up my case now. So in Lawas we have got 46 beds, I think 46, sometimes 45, because one bed will be occupied by the nurses there. Okay, this district is 3,811.9 square kilometers. Population census 2000. Today I asked one of the personal secretary of a politician in Lawas, what is the population of Lawas? She said, no, I don't know. She said, I don't know. I'm depending on the internet for this information, and I don't have it. Yesterday, do you know the population of Lawas? So that's what, that's 2000, year 2000, we got 35,300. That is the year 2000. Today, I think I can safely say we should have about 50,000. Okay? Why? Because there are lots of foreigners there. Illegal immigrants in Laos. Not only the town, the whole district. And 1,200 kilometers to Kuching, Johor Bahru to Perlis, Kota to Alustar Kedah, border of Thailand, 850 kilometers. Okay? This is 1,200 kilometers from Lawas to Kuching, if you are going by land. Imagine that's where the General Hospital is. It's easier for them to fly into Kuala Lumpur and go to a General Hospital compared to driving all the way from Lawas to Kuching, and 200 kilometers to Kota Kinabalu. Right? If any problems in Lawas, they will send them to Kota Kinabalu, where they will have the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And the state population is, this is 2010, 2.4 million population. That is Sarawak. Okay. For your information, Sarawak is the, I'm sure you know, it is the largest state. I guess. But, okay. Now, for your information, Sarawak is the largest state in this country, and it has got largest state in this country, and it has got the largest producer of timber, and in the world. It produces timber, the largest producer of timber in this world. Okay, how big is Limbang Division? The green highlight over there on Sarawak map is the Limbang Division. Alright? Limbang Division is as big as Selangor. As big as Selangor. It's just a matter of 200 over kilometers more. I think Selangor is slightly bigger, but Limbang Division is as big as Selangor, this state. And how many hospitals in Selangor? Government big large hospitals like Secondary Hospital and all. We have got 10 of that sort of hospitals in Selangor state. How many general hospitals in Limbang Division? Limbang Division has got two districts. One is Limbang District and one is Lawas District. Lawas District Hospital is like, as always on my Facebook I said, oh, as big as the clinic Pergigian, the Semenanjung. I always say that it's as big as clinic Pergigian, the Semenanjung. That's how big Lawas District Hospital. If you don't believe me, you just pay a visit. Limbang Hospital, no, my good friend Ahmad Azman knows his wife is from Limbang. I think people back from Limbang. So Limbang Hospital looks like clinic here in Semadoh. There's no general hospital for the people of Limbang division. No general hospital. Alright? We are not asking you to build 10 big, huge hospitals. We are asking for one general hospital for the Limbang division so that they don't have to go to Kota Kinabalu. Because at Kota Kinabalu, apparently, sorry, from Sabah, apparently, when they go to Sabah, they are treated at Queen Elizabeth Hospital as second-class citizens. Like, they get second-class treatment as opposed to Sabahans. This is what I was told by Sarawak kids from Lawas when they go. Even a police officer, when I went to the police station, Lawas police station, and when they had to make a report, the police officer is telling me, this is what they did to me because he is half paralyzed, and this is what they did to me at Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Well, so that is how it is. So Lawas, where is Lawas? Lawas is here. This is Lawas, right? It's got a small airport. If you want to get to Lawas, from Kuala Lumpur you have to fly 2.5 hours to Kota Kinabalu. From KK you take a bus 3 hours into Lawas. You have got a check border here, Sindumin. Sindumin, where you will be checked. You have to get down and chop and get your pass to enter into Sarawak. So that is this is Lawas, and another way is for you to fly from Kuala Lumpur to Miri and take another flight from Miri to Lawas. This is a dangerous flight which I have done a few times. I'll never do it in my life again. Or you can actually go from Miri to Lawas via Brunei. Okay, via Brunei. That means you have to cross 2 times. Brunei to get into Lawas, you have to take a ferry in between. Alright. If you are going to Limbang, it's also the same. Limbang is between 2 parcels of land, which is Brunei. This is Brunei, this is Brunei, Limbang in between. So Limbang too has got a district hospital, which is also in a very poor condition. Where is Long Semadoh? Long Semadoh Naseb. Long Semadoh is where my wife is from. She's suku called Bawang. So Long Semadoh is here. This is here. Long Semadoh. So how you get from Long Semadoh to Lawas? 4-wheel drive, 4 hours or 3 hours. On a good day, 3 hours. On a horrible day, wet day, it will be 4 hours. So you go 4x4 all the way to Lawas, and 3 hours to 4 hours. Once you reach there, you go to a hospital and they tell you, sorry, we don't have bed, sorry, we don't have the doctor, sorry, we don't have the medication, sorry, we cannot do anything to you. Either you find your way to Queen Elizabeth Hospital, or you go to Miri, or you go to Kuching. Okay. What sort of healthcare is this? So this is another thing that I want to highlight. Okay, I'm supposed to ask you a question. If anyone knows where is Lawas? I think if you are my Facebook friends, you know where is Lawas by now, because I've been planning. The YB of Lawas is Henry Sum Agong. He's a Datuk now, Datuk Henry Sum Agong. I'll show you a picture of him later. This is Kam Agong as a girl, and that's her father and his mother. He's holding a rifle. He's a Second World War veteran. His name is Agong Dawat, and that's the daughter. This is near his land. That's Agnes and Kam Agong. She's in a traditional costume. That's the village where Kam Agong and Agnes grew up. That's Kam Agong with, this is Kathy, she's a staff nurse now, she's sitting at the back. And that's brothers and cousin brothers in Lawas. That's the family. And you see, Kam Agong, that's Father Labo, my father-in-law, is Samuel Baru Kathy. Agong is the eldest son, he's married, he's living in the village. This Andy is working in the oil petroleum company, for a petroleum company. That's Agnes, my wife, is my brother-in-law, also working for offshore. Both of them working for offshore company. So where is there are 7, where's the 7th child? Where's the 8th child? Okay, she died, she was expecting her 8th child, so they did a Caesarean section on her. Okay, where's the 8th child? Oh, that is here, in the center, sitting. That's Jordan. Alright, that's Jordan. And he's my son. That's Jordan. And Jordan Jeremiah is 10 years old. And he was born 19th February 2002. 19th March 2002, Kam Agong died. Okay. So this is Lawas District Hospital. This is the only picture that I could take because I was running around. I should have taken a more of an aerial view, but there's no other building except the police station next to it. Alright. This is the standard of the district hospital in Lawas. I am from Perak, from Tapa Road, the 4th railway station which was built in this country. We grew up there, my grandparents all worked there. And I studied in this school called Tapa, Hospital Tapa School. My primary education there. That's a district hospital, it is next to it. District hospital, which is next to that hospital. We can land a helicopter there, which is Tapa District Hospital. It's a very popular hospital. And very well, it had a lot of facilities, even during those days, in the 70s. And it has got specialists. So they can handle anything, any emergency they will be able to handle it. Whereas in Lawas, no way. There was a guy in not far from, on the way to Long Semadoh, met an accident, Long Toyo. One accident, 3 ambulances. He was brought down from not far from Long Semadoh, 3 hours down to the hospital, Lawas Hospital. From Lawas Hospital, they rushed him on the way to Beaufort. I think a lot of people know. The Kelapa Sawit estate. The guy, before the van stopped, he met several accidents. The ambulance met several accidents before they stopped at the Kelapa Sawit estate. From there, they dispatched, from Beaufort, they dispatched another ambulance. They took him all the way to KK. Just before KK, the ambulance ran out of fuel. Then they had to rush another ambulance from Queen Elizabeth Hospital, took him in. And I think 2 or 3 months later, he died. He died because nobody took care of him properly. So this sort of cases is quite normal in Sarawak. So this is so what has happened is we have hospital projects which was announced before this announcement. That's this is Henry Agong, MP of Lawas. This is Awang Tanah. Oh, sorry, Awang Tengah. So he is the one of the ministers who handles the rural development and land matters in Sarawak. And this is the YB who is supposed to represent Lawas P222 in the parliament. Alright? When Kam Agong died, nobody raised this issue. Nobody took this issue to the parliament. When Kam Agong died, Joe Adun brought this matter to the state assembly. When Kam Agong died, no press came out to highlight this issue. Only 1 year later, when I went and approached them, Straight Times published it because we wanted to sue the government. Then they published it. But when she died, nobody cared. Nobody cared. Absolutely nobody. 8 children, nobody cared. So we want to know what is the duty and function of an Adun and a YB, MP of Lawas. 48 years, Sarawak helped to form the Federation of Malaysia. People think Sarawak is a state and it is part of Malaysia. But a lot of them in Sarawak, in some Sarawakans still to understand that Sarawak helped to form the Federation of Malaysia in 1963 along with Singapore and North Korea, which is now known as Sabah. So before these two jokers announced that Sarawak is going to, they're going to build an 80 million ringgit hospital, there was an announcement by the health minister that Lawas is going to have, they're going to build, the federal government is going to build 200 million ringgit worth of hospital, the big huge development in Lawas. I want to know what happened to that project. It has been announced like 1.5 years or maybe 2 years ago. This was in March 26, 2011. This is March 2012. 1 year, there's nothing has happened. Lawas Hospital still remains Lawas Hospital. Right? So what we are saying is, why build this house? Why are you delaying this construction of hospital? This is the condition on a horrible day how you travel from Long Semadoh to Lawas. Okay? This is some of these stories. These guys will tell you how horrible they have to travel. This is from Bakalan to Lawas is horrible journey. Can you imagine a mother has to travel all the way from Kampung. They don't mind enduring this journey to go to a hospital hoping that they will get a good health care, but what do they get? They get horrible health care. Horrible. I'm just going to go into a little bit of details. I know it's going to be boring, but I have to make this statement. I have to make this statement so that it will be. I've got Kasturi from DAP, I've got Darren from Pakatan Rakyat. I want this to be a political issue. Why? Because you see, this is a constant form for tubal ligation. Tubal ligation means, in Malay they say ikat perut. That means she will not get pregnant anymore. Alright? It's called tubal ligation form. To do a tubal ligation. Do you see Kam Agong's signature here? Do you see patient? The patient's signature is not here, but the husband's signature is there. The husband signed, but they did not advise the mother, look, Kam Agong, we are going to tie you to a tubal ligation procedure and all that. What is tubal ligation and all that? They did not get her consent. Unless she consent, forget about the husband. I think in overseas, in UK, in America, if you don't get the wife's consent or the mother's consent, you cannot perform a tubal ligation. Is this the standard that we get in this country? This is the standard that we get in this country. They really don't care. You know why? One of the reasons why they don't care is because they are from a poor family. Poor family, high up in the Ulu. Who cares? Buat saja, bah. Buat saja. Because they are not going to bring legal action against you. Why should I be worried? If you log on to kamagong.org, you will see some of these documents, case notes. These case notes are not mine. I got it from the DPP, from the government, because I was suing them. I don't have these medical documents. they had to give it to me. So with that, we came out with all this. And whatever that you see here is not my own invention or my own comment, but these comments are made after studying, going through the documents with a gynecologist. All right. Look, this is the operation form. There's a consent form. If your wife is going to go through a Caesarean section, an operation for bedahan, you need to get consent from the next of kin, the husband or the wife, anyone, or the patient must sign for it. This signature, we realize, this Kam Agong signature, we realize that it's not her signature when we brought a case against the court, against the hospital and the government. In the court, when my father-in-law was there, the DPP gave the consent form. This is your consent form. You signed for it. Why are you making so much of noise? Anything goes wrong, you bear. My father-in-law looked at it and he said, pardon about my father-in-law looked at it and he said, no, it's not my signature. Then whose signature? This is your wife's signature. Very rudely, the DPP told that to my father-in-law. My father-in-law said, no, that is not my wife's signature. At that moment, we realized, oh my God, that nobody consented for the surgery. Okay, never mind. She said, no, but you knew about the surgery. DPP said, you knew about the surgery. So, okay, never mind, we knew about the surgery. But what is the standard now? You tell me in Lawas Hospital and all the hospitals in Sarawak. What is the standard? Is this the standard that we have in Sarawak? Alright? Is this the standard that we get in Sarawak? That the person who ever filled up this form is for sure that person signed this document. If you go look at it closely, you'll be able to gauge that. But if this is this the only case in Sarawak? I'm asking. Is this the only case in Sarawak? Could there be more of this sort of cases in Sarawak? What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, there are much more cases. I think this one.
Yeah, so there you go. I think there are a lot more cases which not been highlighted, not been spoken about. We brought this case up against the government and the hospital because we are not interested in the money. Yes, that money was, we had some help with that money when we got the compensation, but when the judge, the DPP offered us 350 to 400,000 ringgit in front of the judge, I said no, we refused. If I had accepted that money, today I won't know that this signature was a forged signature. I would not have gone in detail to get all the other documents checked, whether it is correct or not correct. Another joke, now this is all I'm just trying to highlight, the standard of maternal care in Sarawak, the offences against mothers in Sarawak, right? Because we have mothers, I've got my wife, you have your wife, your children, your daughters, and this is a horrible offence against mothers, against women in Sarawak, especially in Sarawak, in Malaysia. This is a pad chart. When they do a surgery, they will place a pad to check whether there's any bleeding. Okay? The funny thing is, she was discharged on the 23rd morning. She was discharged at 11 o'clock. 23rd morning, she was discharged at 11 o'clock. Here, this chart, they put here 23rd, 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. pad change. She was discharged 23rd morning, 11 o'clock. How can they have placed the pad on 23rd evening, 9 p.m. to 7 a.m.? This is another standard. We are just thinking why they do this. This is just to alter the medical documents, to confuse us so that we don't do that. We don't bring a case or we will be misled. Any delivery, any pregnancy, any Caesarean section will have, not Caesarean section, any pregnancy will have two pathogram. Pathogram will indicate the heart of the I don't know how to say this, the heartbeat, how big is the head, whether the fetus or the baby's head is engaged or not, or whether it's going to deliver, how long more for the baby to deliver, all this sort of thing is pathogram. Huh? Every patient will have only one. For Kam Agong, they had two. Two pathogram. I don't know Kasturi. Is this common here in Sarawak? But it appears like it has happened in Sarawak. I don't know whether this is a common thing in Sarawak. This is two pathogram. One is this, one is this. This has been cancelled later. I don't know why they have to cancel one. And this is not the way to do it. You know, the record is so straight, and you are doing it in the operation theatre, the delivery room. The guy said this is all rubbish, this is all done later. Probably this was more accurate. And no indication of the fetal heartbeat and all that sort of thing. It's put out of rubbish that went from. Her labor chart, incomplete. We are talking about the standard. This will not happen in HKL, this will not happen in Secondary Hospital, this will not happen in any other hospitals in Semenanjung. Probably, I hope not. But in Lawas District Hospital, this is a common thing. No proper recording of the labor chart by the night nurse. This is another medical chart which is incomplete. Okay, this is, I just have to highlight this. The doctor here is Hashima Basri, and the other doctor is Fazila. And this is fetal distress. In any hospital for a delivery, if there's a problem, it will be either fetus distress or obstructed labor. Alright? Either or. This is what the gynae told me. Either or, but in Kam Agong's case, they've indicated both. They've indicated both. And they have not given any reason. And if you have observed, it is an upper segment Caesarean section. What is an upper segment Caesarean section? Upper segment Caesarean section, they have stopped performing this surgery, this procedure in 1970s. Okay? In European countries, even a gynae will be so afraid to do a Caesarean section, which is an upper segment, because the uterus is up here. You don't want to cut on the uterus where the placenta is located, because you're going to sever the main artery, so you will bleed. Exactly, that's what happened to Kam Agong. She would have died on that day because they had cut on the upper part of the abdomen, and they did an upper segment, and she lost severe blood. This procedure was done by a normal doctor. They are not a gynae. They are normal doctor. They are not gynaes, and they did a Caesarean section, which is upper segment. Is this a normal thing to do in Sarawak? Is this a common thing? If it is common, we want to know, we want the state government and the federal government, the Ministry of Health, to give us an account of the number of C-sections which has been performed in Sarawak, and by MOs or general practitioner or just normal doctor, and not by gynae. We want to know. Alright? And what is the mortality rate of maternal death in Sarawak? Alright? We don't have it. We don't get the statistics. Right? We don't get the statistics. This is another second part of the operative note is missing. This is what we get. No proper record. Incomplete record. Alright? There's no history of surgical, she's never gone for any surgery. 7 deliveries before this was all normal delivery, and most of it was done by housewives in Long Semadoh.
Midwife.
Midwives, sorry. And also housewives. And the midwives are not around, the housewives to do it. But she was alive and she's very healthy. She's very strong lady, you know. So that is the position of the standard of healthcare in Sarawak. Ultrasound, the document we never got. This ultrasound is 14th of March, right? 14th of March. She died on the 19th of March. Okay, just imagine tomorrow is 19th, 14th, just a few days ago. She had a secondary postpartum hemorrhage. That means she had severe bleeding. She was bleeding and bleeding. The whole house, the room that she was lying down, filled with blood. They accumulated a bucket of blood in that day. All right. The nurses rushed from the clinic. They gave her the drips and all, and took her by 4-wheel drive all the way to Lawas. Alright? Lawas Hospital, they put there non-urgent. Non-urgent. She put non-urgent, I don't know why. They admitted her. Alright? Severe infection on her abdomen, and the uterus was bulky. Nothing was done. They did ultrasound. Or not, we don't know, but apparently the gynae said they would have done an ultrasound. Where's the report? They refused to give us that report. Because ultrasound would have told you the infection on the uterus, that you have to remove her uterus. That means a gynae will have to fly in and will have to do that surgery, right? That operation to remove her uterus. But the doctors refused to refer her to a gynae or advise us, the family members, that look, this is a serious matter, we're going to rush it to Caesarean hospital or we're going to transfer her to Miri. Nobody did that, nobody stood for her, nobody cried for her, nobody shouted for her. Every one of them kept their bloody mouth shut. It's 10 years old story, but this is what has happened. We want to know what is the standard. Please tell me what is the standard of health care, maternal care in Sarawak. I want YB Sumagong, if you are watching this YouTube or this video, I want you to tell me what is the standard of maternal care in Lawas, especially mothers of Lubang origin and also every mothers in Sarawak. And if the health minister is going to watch this video, I want him to give us the statistics and explain to the people, to every mother in this country, what is the standard of maternal care in this country, especially in Sarawak and Sabah. And I know something similar to happens in Sabah. Okay, this sterilization document and all, this is how they record and all that. According to gynae, she's supposed to have a normal delivery. Okay, according to gynae, she's supposed to have normal delivery, according to all these documents. Okay, this is the 14th, when she had severe bleeding. This is the document that they had. It's non-urgent, you can see here, non-urgent. And her BP level was 90 to 50, and it's non-urgent. Anybody with 90 to 50 BP level is considered in a critical condition.
Okay, just
come again? 4 to 6.
I mean, the social exercise.
Oh, okay.
45 minutes.
Already? 15 minutes?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Too long?
I think we need to be.
Okay, I will finish it. Just few more. I'm just going to highlight this and few more slides and then we will finish this. I get carried away when I talk about Kam Agong and health care, maternal care, sorry. So this is the admission document. This is the discharge document on the 16th March. She was discharged and note the uterus is still bulky. Why not refer her to a gynae? HB level was very low and high lochia. You see, high lochia means she was still bleeding. Why discharged her? 14th, she was bleeding in Kampong. She came down 3 hours down. By the time she would have they checked her into the hospital, she could be in about 3-4 o'clock. On the 16th morning, she was discharged. 16th afternoon. 16th was a Saturday. 16th was a Saturday. She was discharged. This is a death certificate, cause of death. Confirmed patient was bleeding for a long time. Secondary postpartum hemorrhage is the cause of death. This is a death certificate. So this is where she's buried in Long Semadoh. This is some of the things. This is the picture that I took in 2009, 2010. The hotel that they are building. They have built a hotel stream ratio. It is completed. Najib Tubraza, the Prime Minister of the country, officially opened the hospital. Not the hospital, sorry, the hotel. Hotel stream ratio is a government-run hotel. Hotel stream ratio. This is the construction in the final stage. We wanted to be the hospital. We wish it was the hospital Daerah Lawas. Alright? So this is the thing. And this is some of those people who suffered from deplorable standard of healthcare in Lawas. This is the doctor who did the surgery. She logged onto my Facebook and she replied, I joined this to support the building a hospital in Lawas, Sarawak. And my opinion, Lawas needs a new hospital. I truly empathize and Madam Kam and all that stuff. Interesting that we were not called to testify in court. I'm not about to defend myself here because above all allegation, God knows what actually happened. We were only doing our level best to manage Madam Kam Agong in all resources and all that we can read. Nobody wants to work in Lawas Hospital. This is doctor. When I posted this on her, replied her with this, did you and your friend kill Kam Agong? Referring to the other doctor, Hashima Basri. I asked, did you and your friend kill Kam? She quickly deleted her profile. She exited because she knows all her documents on kamagong.org.
But she didn't want to come to court.
They didn't want to call. They didn't want to even call anyone to come to court. The DPP wanted to go on holiday. The judge said no, and I brought all my witnesses for the case and showed. This is the village where she's Long Semadoh Naseb. This is where exactly she bled and died, Kam Agong. This is some of the pictures in the village. This is the Marara, where they do a lot of timber logging. You can see no more timber. Sarawak is the largest state in the country, largest producer of timber in the world. Petroleum, oil and gas. The richest state with the poorest, deplorable standard of maternal care. Okay? We just want people to know this. And why all this is because of this Zunas government. I just borrowed it. This is what our PM, they talk and talk and talk, and they talk bullshit all the time, and they can spend 250 million on corruption, 250 million on condos. They cannot build a hospital for mothers in Sarawak. And that's probably, this is our BN government and this is Sarawak. Okay? The reality is Sarawak. And they could spend 80,000 ringgit for party and shopping and for submarine. But they cannot build a hospital for this picture we took yesterday in Perak. Okay. This picture we took yesterday in Perak. So the 250 million. That's what. And corruption kills. If you are corrupted, you kill. Right? This is some of the slides that I have presented. And this is what's happening. Everything is siphoned from Sarawak into some, not into Peninsular Malaysia, yes, into Peninsular Malaysia, but in many projects for the cronies, for the well-being of the, to buy diamond rings, handbags, and all that sort of rubbish. But they don't spend enough on our health care, maternal care. Ladies must be concerned about this. And this is the condition of Sarawakans and Sabahans. This picture was taken at Battalion Street. I think it is still there. This picture also taken at KLCC. This is the green IC issue, which is common in Sarawak. Sarawakians carry green IC but not Malaysians. I don't understand. And this is some of the problems. Sarawakians get everything but took nothing. Right? That is the condition of Sarawakians, especially people like Kam Agong. Mothers like Kam Agong. Because just give me 1 minute, I will finish this. I'm not going to go into the legal matters. I wanted to tell you about this guy who actually tried to swindle us 35,000 ringgit, but forget it. What I'm trying to say is maternal care in Sarawak is horrible, and if we don't voice out, all of us, even though we have few here, it's okay, but if we don't start voicing out our concern, this will continue. Because there are many people, many mothers in Sarawak, they endure the worst things in their life compared to the fathers. Because a lot of these children, some of the fathers, some of the children will get into drugs, shabu, which is common in Laos. You know, you can buy it at buying sweets and all that sort of thing. But the person who will actually suffer is the mother. You know, they go through hell. They go to paddy field, they go and work in the construction sector. They walk and walk and walk. They are very strong, but nobody cares about their maternal care. If I don't speak today, nobody will know about Lawas. Nobody will even speak about Lawas. I have started. I think it's about time every Sarawakian, every Malaysian, especially the mothers, start speaking. If you don't speak, this sort of case will continue, and a lot more mothers are going to die in Sarawak, because maternal death, the highest state that carries maternal death is Sarawak. I think Sabah is also very close, but Sarawak carries very high maternal mortality in Malaysia, right? So I'm going to end here. I'm going to pass to Kasturi. I'm going to invite Kasturi to give her speech on behalf of Kam Agong's family, and she wants to say something. Okay?
Yeah, introduce first.
Yeah, this Agnes, you have already met Agnes. She's my wife. And her husband. It's Darren from Pakatan. Pati Keadilan Raya. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Saudara Lawrence J. Raj, Yang disanjung Tuan Agnes Padan, anak sulung mendiang Kam Agong, Saudara Lawrence J. Raj, Saudara Jeremiah Jordan, Saudara Darren, rakan-rakan yang saya kasih sekalian. Saya bersyukur berada di sini dan berkongsi pentas dengan keluarga mendiang Kam Agong. I think we all heard Lawrence saying that tomorrow would be exactly 10 years of Kam Agong's death. Mungkin ada ramai yang sudah kenal dengan kisah yang menyayat hati Kam Agong dan perjuangan kehidupan beliau di tangan doktor-doktor yang tidak berpengalaman di hospital daerah Lawas 10 tahun yang lalu. So let's talk about Lawas a bit. We all heard the medical aspect of what happened to the late Kam Agong. It's very sad. But let's talk about Lawas a bit. I've not been to Lawas. I wish to go there one day. But what I gathered from my internet source and friends who have been to Lawas is Lawas adalah satu pekan kecil di Libang Sarawak yang berkeluasan 3,811 km persegi dan mempunyai satu hospital daerah sahaja. Hospital daerah Lawas. Hospital ini telah dirasmikan oleh Dato' Haji Abdul Rahman Yaakob, masa itu Menteri Tanah dan Perlombongan pada 16 Mei 1969 dan, believe it or not, merupakan bangunan yang tertua di Lawas. Hospital ini mempunyai 46 katil sahaja. Dan pada tahun 1999, JKR sendiri telah mengisytiharkan hospital daerah Lawas sudah tidak boleh dipakai lagi dan sudah uzur. So, gaya kerajaan persekutuan is tunggu sampai kecelakaan berlaku baru nak ambil tindakan. So, hospital ini masih terus beroperasi seperti sedia kala dan tak ada apa-apa perubahan yang berlaku. Pakar ginekologi pun tak ada. Yang ada dalam unit ginekologi adalah jururawat grade 19, grade 24 dan grade 29. Di antara doktor-doktor MO yang ada di sana, tapi ginekologi tak ada. Nah, pembangunan hospital Lawas telah dimasukkan ke dalam plan hospital baru sejak rancangan Malaysia ke-7, which is dari tahun 1996 hingga 2000. Tapi diluluskan dalam rancangan Malaysia ke-8, 2001 hingga 2005. Sekarang dah masuk rancangan Malaysia ke-10. That means we have passed 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's been 16 years that the people in Lawas have been waiting for a hospital. One hospital, 16 years. I think it's a bit ridiculous, you know. The thing is, Kerajaan BN has all these plans and empty promises, as we can see. We asked for a hospital to be built in Lawas that is the status of a proper general hospital like what we have in Semenanjung. I don't know, I don't think it is too much to ask as tax-paying citizens of the country. If you want to say embarrassed also, it's very embarrassing. 16 years to build a hospital, especially when it's needed. Now, dalam media Borneo Post, bertarikh 26 Mac, sebuah hospital bernilai 80 juta ringgit akan dibina di Lawas yang kononnya akan mengambil masa 2 tahun dan kononnya sepatutnya bermula tahun lepas, end of last year, 2011. I've not been to Lawas, nothing has happened up to now. Menteri Kedua Perancangan dan Pengurusan Sumber, Datuk Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan, berkata hanya Barisan Nasional sahaja yang boleh mengimplementasi projek sebegini untuk kebaikan rakyat. Ingat ya, bukan saya yang cakap. Dia yang cakap. Sudahlah. Dah banyak tahun ni, nothing has happened. Saya nak tanya pada dia, sebab dia masih berkuasa di Sarawak. Mana pergi hospital tu yang dijanjikan oleh Barisan Nasional? Pembinaan, kerja-kerja pembinaan dah mula ke belum? Blueprint dah ada ke tak? KM dah ada ke tak? Portal Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak bertarikh 15 April 2011 pula melaporkan ini. 121.6 juta ringgit akan digunakan untuk membina hospital di Lawas. Dari 80, nampak macam tak menarik, okeylah kita tambah lagi 121.6 million ringgit. And who made this statement? None other than our great, fantastic Liao Tong Lai, who always lies, Health Minister. So you see, in 19 days between 26 March 2011 and 15 April 2011, Sarawakians and Lawas have been claimed twice, from 80 million big plan announcement to 1 million, and yet nothing is moving. In 2005, the same Menteri Kedua Perancang announced saying that he's very proud that Lawas will be the host to the first place that will cater to the first 3 Malaysia hospital in Sarawak, and it cost 35 million ringgit. This was in 2005. He also said di bawah peruntukan bajet 2006, kementerian berharap dapat melaksanakan lebih banyak projek bekalan air dan tenaga elektrik, khususnya di kawasan luar bandar. Mana pergi projek pembinaan hospital? Mana kemudahan perubatan? Mana kemudahan kesihatan? Dalam ucapannya, Awang Tengah menegaskan sekali lagi bahawa kerajaan akan hanya mengambil alih tanah persendirian bagi projek-projek pembangunan yang sangat penting. Maksudnya simple, duit tu ada nak beli, dia orang tak tahu nak buat apa. Nak kata pandai pun tak, nak kata bongok pun tak. Habis tu, kematian dalam hospital kerajaan di atas kejuaian doktor kerajaan yang tidak bertauliah. Tidak pentingkah, wahai Menteri Kedua, Datuk Awang Tengah, bagai lidah tidak bertulang? Yang diperlukan hospital, bukan hotel. Nampaknya, inilah yang dimaksudkan dengan cerita Pak Belalang, Datuk Seri Najib, mengenai program transformasi kerajaan, GTP. Baik tukar terus, GTIP, Government Transfer into Pocket. Hari ini dalam Star, Perdana Menteri mengumumkan tambahan peruntukan 30 juta ringgit untuk saudara-saudara orang asli di seluruh negara tahun ini. Katanya, as the orang asli communities are very loyal to the government, I have no hesitation to approve this allocation. Macam ni ke komen Perdana Menteri? Kerana kaum orang asli setia kepada kerajaan, saya tidak teragak-agak untuk meluluskan permohonan ni. Pada pendapat saya, nampak macam gaya ahlong lah. You tak bayar I potong jari you. You bayar I tak kacau. Kawan-kawan sekalian, kita berkumpul sini untuk menghantar mesej kepada Kerajaan Barisan Nasional yang penganiayaan dan pencabulan hak seorang warga Malaysia, seorang wanita, seorang ibu tidak boleh diperkecilkan lagi. Saudara saya, Saudara Lawrence telah menjelaskan dengan simple English, simple Malay, what happened to our late Kam Agong, the suffering she went through from A to Z. I don't have to go through this again, it's very painful. But what we want to know is, I don't know if you mentioned or not, that the Kaki Tangan Hospital came to the house on the day, that same evening that the late Kam Agong passed away, and took all her medical records away, took all her medication away, and advised the family not to take legal action and said this is takdir. This is God's will. But God is also very smart because He knows how to work. So kes kematian Kam Agong dibawa ke mahkamah dan semua dalang yang terlibat diheret bersama ke muka pengadilan. Memang ada pengakuan kecuaian 100% doktor dalam pembedahan Kam Agong. Dan pembayaran ganti rugi kepada keluarga Kam Agong sudah dibuat pada tahun 2009. You may ask, it's already compensated. Why do you still want to go on with the struggle? If it was your mother, if it was your wife, if it was your daughter, if it was your granddaughter, I'm sure that it won't be like this. Lawrence has taken things step by step, but I'm sure a lot of us, if we can, we would go and chop the doctor up, the one who did this to us. Adakah pampasan ini cukup bagi penderitaan keluarga Kam Agong selama 10 tahun? Persoalannya adalah, wujudkah satu cover up oleh Kerajaan Barisan Nasional Negeri Sarawak terhadap kualiti kehidupan rakyat di sana, terutamanya kaum wanita dan kaum ibu yang hidup melarat tanpa perkhidmatan kesihatan yang baik? World Health Organization (WHO) meletakkan amount RM1,800 untuk setiap rakyat Malaysia untuk belanja kesihatan mereka. Jabatan Kesihatan Negeri Sarawak pula melaporkan hanya RM422 diagihkan. Balance tu masuk poket siapa? You see how big the difference is. If truly 1,008 is spent on every Malaysian, why is Sarawakians only getting RM422? That's only 23.4%. Where's the 70%? Mengapa anak Sarawak dianaktirikan begini? Kalau Najib betul-betul sayangkan rakyat Malaysia, jangan hanya hulurkan one-off bantuan rakyat tipu Malaysia RM500 untuk tujuan memancing undi. Tetapi pastikan juga rakyatmu dijaga dengan baik. Kerajaan mesti menaik taraf kualiti hospital di Sarawak dan seluruh Malaysia. Bukan hanya hospital glamour yang dikunjungi oleh orang kenamaan saja. Mengapa harus wujud jurang perbezaan sebegini luas, sebegini besar di antara lapisan masyarakat Malaysia di bawah naungan satu Malaysia, Perdana Menteri Malaysia Rosmah Mansor? Malaysia berbangga dan bermegah dengan lapangan terbang bertaraf antarabangsa KLIA, dengan litar lumba Sepang Circuit bertaraf antarabangsa, rangkaian telekomunikasi kedua terbaik di Asia Tenggara, 7 pelabuhan antarabangsa dan pelbagai lagi pencapaian. Nampaknya Malaysia terpaksa menunduk malu dan membisu di bawah Kerajaan Barisan Nasional di atas kehilangan nyawa Kam Agong dan ibu-ibu yang lain kerana mereka menjadi mangsa pencabulan hak asasi dan hak mereka untuk mendapat rawatan kesihatan yang baik dan berkualiti di negara ini. Wahai Najib dan konco-konco Kerajaan Barisan Nasional yang telah bermaharaja lela semasa rakyatmu hidup merempat dengan kesusahan perjalanan kehidupan seharian, kami membawa satu mesej kepada kamu semua. Angin perubahan sedang bertiup di bumi kenyalam dan masa untuk kamu terus menikmati kemewahan hasil titik pelur rakyat telah berakhir. Ayuh anak Sarawak, bangkit. Bangkit menentang kejahilan, korupsi, rasuah dan ketidakcekapan kerajaan yang tidak pandai menguruskan wang dan lebih teruk lagi menguruskan negara. Inikah maksud Perdana Menteri Malaysia, rakyat didahulukan? Najib's apology a few weeks back in Kedah came as a surprise to all of us. But can anyone here tell me if indeed Najib was sincere in his apologies, what is he apologizing for? Is the Prime Minister apologizing for the death of Kam Agong? Is the Prime Minister apologizing for the lack of proper maternal care in Lawas, Sarawak and Malaysia? Is the Prime Minister apologizing for the misuse of public funds to develop the state? Is he apologizing that as a Premier of the state of Malaysia, that he has allowed criminals like Taib Mahmud, the longest serving Chief Minister of Sarawak for 31 years, to continue to rule over the state of Sarawak with an iron fist, where the people suffer in poverty, no education, no roads, no schools, no jobs, no business opportunities, no homes, no electricity, no clean drinking water, no development, no land, no health care and no rights? Masa sudah sampai untuk mengubah pucuk pimpinan BN di Sarawak dan di Putrajaya. Buku Jingga Pakatan Rakyat menegaskan jaminan perkhidmatan kesihatan awam yang cekap, meluas dan bermutu kepada semua rakyat Malaysia. Pakatan Rakyat komited untuk menaikkan royalty dari hasil petroleum dari 5% ke 20% yang diamalkan sekarang. Apabila pendapatan negeri meningkat, simpanan wang negeri akan disalurkan kepada rakyat untuk dinikmati bersama. Apa agaknya akan berlaku apabila PR menakluk Putrajaya? Rakyat Malaysia akan menyaksikan kelahiran kerajaan baru yang tiada pengalaman dalam rasuah, korupsi dan skandal, di mana hasil negeri diberi balik kepada rakyat. Kualiti kesihatan dan penjagaan yang terakhir kepada Kerajaan Barisan Nasional dan memberi laluan kepada Najib dan rakan-rakan seperjuangan beliau menjadi parti pembangkang untuk julung kali di Malaysia. Saya rasa mereka akan menjadi parti pembangkang yang dikagumi sebab sudah ada 50 tahun pengalaman dalam rasuah, skandal dan korupsi. Kerajaan yang baru, yang bersih, telus dan accountable akan menjamin pembangunan masyarakat yang akan melahirkan negara yang lebih maju. Sebelum saya pass the floor to my fellow panel, I would like to share a pantun by Abang Mat Sabu. Berjumpa berluka di hutan belantara, asam paya tumbuh di bumi. Sila bubar parlimen segera, Putrajaya idaman kami. Ayo kawan-kawan, bangkitlah untuk menentukan arus perubahan di Malaysia. The smell of change is in the air. Jom ubah, bersihkan Malaysia, selamatkan Malaysia. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you, Kasturi. And now I think we pass the floor to Darren.
Introduce yourself a bit.
Yeah, a lot of people do not know me. I'm Darren. Good evening to all of you. 大家好. And I salute to all of you Sarawakians. Okay, I've been working at the bank for 22 years.
Your full name, Darren?
Darren Terence Douglas. Okay. I've been working as a banker for 22 years. I resigned from the bank 3 months ago in December because I thought I need to sacrifice my time to help Pakatan Rakyat win the election for the state of Kedah. Pakatan Rakyat has a lot of supporters. PAS, DAP, and Caesarean has a lot of supporters. They have a lot of people who can donate money, but they do not have enough manpower. So I am one of those people who willing to sacrifice our job so that we can serve to help Pakatan win the state. But I cannot guarantee you Pakatan will not terima rasuah, okay? Because that is human greed. Wherever you go, yeah, there'll be greed. But I can guarantee you, if even though I'm not a YB or not a leader in the higher level, if I see a Pakatan Rakyat member receive bribe, I'll be one of those few who go up and report to MACC. I will do that. Even if they are from PKR, the party I'm in. And that's what we just did in Kedah. If you all read recently, 30% taken out, we did against our own member because it's wrong. And the excuse given is that, oh, previously MCA doing it, why can't we do it? That is MCA. Okay, that's MCA. Okay, so I resigned from the bank. In my 22 years in the bank, I was an auditor. And being an auditor, they keep on sending me to Sabah and Sarawak because a lot of auditors will want to go there. Same reason as why the doctors do not want to go to Sabah and Sarawak. First time, second time, they don't mind. Tak pernah pergi, we go. But after many times, they don't want to go. Public Bank has 22 branches in all of Sarawak. We don't talk about Sabah, we just talk about Sarawak. 22 branches in 12 towns. We have 22 branches in 12 towns. I've been to 10 of the towns except 2. I've not been to Limbang, I've not been to Kuching. But they always send me to places like Kapit. I've been to Kapit 3 times, I stayed there 3 months. Each time I go, I stay 1 month. I've been to Miri 5 times. I've been to Muka, Sarike, Bintano, Niang, Sibu, Bintulu, all twice. Because nobody wants to go there many times. But I love Sarawak. Just as much as I love Sabah, I love Sarawak. And my heart beats for the people there whenever I go to these small towns. When I go to the small towns, I always go to the market. Because that's where you hear all the stories. That's where you can meet the old people who can tell you a lot of stories about the good things and the bad things of Sarawak. So same thing, I've been to Kapit. I'd like to share about Kapit. Kapit reminds me of the town when I first joined Public Bank, Sek Kedah. Sek is the poorest district in whole of West Malaysia. The district hospital you showed just now in Lawas was Sek back in 1990. But today Sek has a general hospital, a very big one. Okay, Lawas can be like that one day. We have to change type. So, but you see, the thing is, Kapit has a lot of pembalakan. People in Kapit can tell me, in the river, Sungai Rajang last time was very clean, very clear. They can tell me that. They say the fishes, the big fish that you can get it in the Sungai Rajang. It's so clear. But today, the same people can tell me, last time that was Sungai Rajang. Now it's so dirty. If I were to bring West Malaysians here, there, I believe I can give them all free teh tarik. Just add sugar and give them the river water, and they all think it's teh tarik. That's how Sungai Rajang looks today. And in my 4-hour or sometimes 3.5 journey from Sibu to Kapit, I see all the side of the river has been deforested. The timbers are in the river. They knock against the ferry that I sit on. And in the ferry, there's no life jackets. I wrote into the newspapers to write, why are there no life jackets? You are asking for trouble. And recently, 2 years back, then something happened near Song. And I read, I was not there, but I read, a ferry tenggelam, and there was not enough life jackets. I did mention it before, and yet life goes on like life there is no value. So that was my experience there. But you see, the pembalakan bring in so much money that a lot of Sarawakians also depend on these timber companies. Whether you are a Penan or Iban or Bidayo, Kenya, Kayan, Kedayan, or in your case Limbawang, all of you depend on those timber. But what happens is they're not sharing the profits equally. They take the bulk, they give you the small amount. You all remember Bruno Mansell last time? He used to fight for Sarawakians and the Penans. He helped to teach them how to do blockades until one day he also went missing. There are people who claim that he was killed and is thrown away somewhere because he was helping the penance to fight against Taib's government. Actually, what we need now is awareness. Bruno Manse was missing in the year 2002. From then to now, not much has been done. Your minister, your Sarawakian minister, Alfred Jabu, last time he blamed the penance, he blamed Bruno for the kemunduran orang Penang adalah kerana Bruno Manse. He blamed that on Manse. But I tell you, Bruno Manse has been missing for almost 10 to 12 years already. But the penance are still mundur. Who do you blame it now? Do you blame it on PKR? Do you blame it on the younger generation penance? Or do you blame the state government? Why are they still mundur? If they blame it on Bruno Manse for helping, maybe the BN mentality is like that. They will blame you, Lawrence, because of you keep on harping about the hospital. That's why the hospital cannot build yet. That's the mentality. You mundur because you keep on making noise. Maybe you don't get your hospital because you keep on making noise. That's the mentality of the Barisan Nasional. They will blame you instead of taking the blame. Now, deforestation, because of deforestation, Thai makes so much money. But because they make so much money, they become greedy. They cannot see what the people of Sarawak need. They do not come to the ground. I've been to so many parts of Sarawak and I see everywhere people say, oh, different people from different parts of Sarawak, they tell me the same story. Oh, this one is a Thai's project. Oh, this one is Thai's project. They do not know each other because they don't know that I'm going to meet this person in this different part of Sarawak. They can tell me, oh, this new project in Kapit, all the government officers are forced to move here because this is a Thai's project. They all are forced to rent from Thai. But it's only the Sarawakians can go against it. You cannot expect every single West Malaysians to go there and help you all. You Sarawakians must change your own government. We can teach you, we can explain to you, we can tell you, but it's only if you people want to change, then you can change. The ubah has to come from Sarawakians. We can tell, we can teach, but if you all do not want to change, we cannot help you. And I cannot blame you all because when I was in Kapit also, I went jogging. There's nothing much to do there. I go to the library and I go jogging. In one of the jogging part, I saw this small hut. It's made of zinc. It's not bigger than a normal room that we have here in KL. Small room, kecil only. I stopped. My two friends who were jogging with me asked me why. I said, I feel like wanting to talk to the person in this house. It was a lady staying there, old lady. And we talked to her and we asked her, how do you survive staying in this small hut? She said she sells the vegetables or the fruits or whatever she tanam there. And she only makes between 50 to 100 ringgit a month. 50 to 100 ringgit a month. That is my one day allowance for auditing in Sarawak. One day allowance, I get 70 ringgit. And she gets 50 to 100 ringgit a month. I do not blame Sarawakians for being poor because the government wants you to be poor. They want you to be indebted to them. When I give you 500 ringgit, BR1M to a Sarawakian, that 500 ringgit is a 10 months salary to a poor Sarawakian. You cannot blame them. The period nasi for my children is more important than what you're fighting there. Barisan Nasional, PKR, what you're fighting is your problem. I want food for my children. That $500 is important to me. And if I have to vote BN, I will vote BN to get that $500. But you must teach them, explain to them, that $500 is a short-term thing. They are actually very rich. Sarawakians are actually very rich, but it's only being misused by your state leaders. Recently, Thai's daughter-in-law tried to divorce the son. The divorce proceedings, the daughter claimed she wants half the asset. And half the asset she asked for was 500 million. What is the Thai son doing with 1 billion ringgit worth of assets? What was he doing with that amount? You don't need that much. As an auditor, I can tell you, if you have 6 million, ringgit, if you have 6 million ringgit, any of you keep that 6 million under your bed. No interest, no investment, nothing. Every month you take out 10,000 to use from this 6 million. It can last you 50 years. 50 years, 6 million. No interest, it can last you 50. Why would they want so much money? I tell you, because it's greed. 1 billion not enough, 2 billion not enough, 3 billion not enough. It will never be enough. Unless Sarawakians realize this, your leader will continue and continue and continue to enrich himself. He cannot take it with him. Nanti dia meninggal pun dia tak boleh pergi bersama dia. Tapi dia akan kerap ambil juga. Because greed, this is human greed. It's nothing to do about wanting to my family to be rich or what. If I want my family to be rich, I just take 10 million and we are rich. It's no, it's greed. Why the son can have 1 billion? Why you see kelapa sawit everywhere? I went to the town of Batumia to audit. Along the way, I see the river, the sea. I went to the seaside. I asked I saw the river was very dirty and it went flow to the sea. I asked them to take me to the sea, the near town people to take me to the sea. And your sea was berbuih. Berbuih. Do you know the buih come from where? It comes from the residue of the kelapa sawit. All come to the sea. Not only is your river dirty, your sea also dirty now. I don't know whether Sarawakians realize this or not. You have to share to your own people down there that you need a change. You need to change. If you don't change, you will forever be indebted to them. They will tell you, come to the rumah panjang. Today, you got prigi. We give you a pump to take out the water. Weh, bagus, bagus. Bagi pump, we can pump water. But don't you know that they're supposed to put the pipe for you? Next round, next election they come, we give you a generator set for you to have electricity. Oh, BN bagus, give a generator set. But don't you know that they're supposed to put the electricity for you? That's what they're doing to Sarawakians. Give little bit. They're not giving you what you're supposed to have. I only share that because what Lawrence is doing is to create awareness about the injustice that's happening in Sarawak. Your creating of awareness is good because people like me who have never been to Lawas know about this now, about hospitals. And I will share. And next time I'll bring it up. I'll bring up Lawrence's story. But only Sarawakians can change your own government. Only you can do that change. If you want a hospital, you have to change your leaders. If you want anything, you have to change your own leaders. Because it's your leaders is the holding the power. Your leaders is the one holding the stoppage of the starting up the hospital. Why? Maybe he's the I don't want him. After he go that I put my I don't that I start with the project. Sometimes like that. They want something out of it. That's why there's a delay. Someone is not getting something, that's why there's a delay. You have to change your leaders. Then you get your hospital. You have to change your leaders. Then you get your electricity. Only by creating awareness among your Sarawakians, you can do that. You have to ubah. That's why you use the word ubah. Change your country. Thank you.
I think it's already too long. Yeah, 5:50 now. So probably I just can say a few things. And after that, you want to say something?
Terima kasih buat kehadiran kita semua. Kami sangat menghargai, terutamanya kami dari keluarga Kam Agong, dari bapak saya, adik-beradik saya. Sebenarnya kami semua dah lama tinggal dekat sini. Lepas kematian ibu kami, suami saya telah melakukan segala yang dia termampu untuk membuat setiap ahli keluarga saya sini. Sebab pada masa itu 2002, masa itu saya baru berumah tangga sebenarnya. Anak saya yang sulung pun masa itu baru 2 tahun. Dengan anak saya yang kedua baru 1 tahun, masa itu yang anak kedua saya masih yang baru mulai jalan. Lepas itu dengan kehadiran adik saya lagi, satu bulan. Sebenarnya kalau dipikirkan lah, masa itu saya masih muda lagi, bukanlah muda sangat, ada dalam 21 macam itu. Kalau dipikirkan untuk seorang ibu, rasa-rasanya saya memang mau cakap tak mampu lah, tak boleh lah lagi mau tambah satu lagi anak untuk saya jaga. Tapi Tuhan itu memang adil lah dia. Sebab kedegilan suami saya, dia dengan segala usahanya lah, dia macam terpaksa, dia kena buat untuk mengambil alih setiap bentuk peninggalan mak saya. Bapak saya tidak bekerja, kerjaan semua dia punya pendapatan dari sawah padi. Dengan melakukan kerja sana sini, gaji tidak seberapa. Dengan kami adik-beradik, lagi masa itu 3 orang adik saya perempuan, masa itu 13 tahun. 13 tahun, lepas itu 2 orang lagi adik lagi saya 12 tahun dengan 10 tahun. 12 dengan 10 tahun. So kita struggle banyak lah, susah memang banyak. Kita naik step by step, sampailah hari ini dengan usaha dari suami saya. Kami sangat bersyukur sebab suami saya seorang memang yang degil, tapi degil dia baik. Walaupun kadang-kadang kita ada juga lah agi banyak untuk membuat keluarga yang besar, hantar orang sekolah, hantar orang tuition. Memang banyak tu memang tak boleh tercakap lah. Kadang-kadang setiap malam saya dengan dia cakap-cakap pun, saya sampai hari ini memang nangis. Banyak, memang susah-susah, tak boleh cakap. Sebab kita dari dulu bapak saya tidak boleh support, 1 sen pun dia tak boleh support. So segala usaha dia sampai hari ini, dan memang dia banyak buat. Kenapa saya tengok dia punya Facebook, komen pun ada yang hentam di sini, ada yang hentam sana. Oh God, saya tak mau lah tengok Facebook, saya cakap dengan dia. Sakit hati, memang sakit hati saya cakap dengan dia. Tapi dia tidak pernah mengalah lah. Dia memang tak mengalah. Dia cakap saya bukan buat untuk saya. Dia cakap saya buat untuk orang Sarawak. Tak tahu kenapa saya kena buat. Tak tahu kenapa saya yang harus bersuara. Kenapa bukan orang Sarawak sendiri yang buka mulut bersuara. Paling-paling dalam Facebook dah cukup untuk saya, dia cakap. Tapi tengok kebanyakan orang Sarawak pun dah. Dia cakap, komen dekat dia, kenapa, siapa you? Kenapa you kena buka mulut? Janganlah bab dekat Facebook. Cakap macam tu dengan dia. Sedangkan orang-orang macam ex-teacher saya dulu pun ada juga komen dekat dia, cakap negatif lah. You tak payahlah pergi sibuk-sibuk hal orang Sarawak macam ni. Dia cakap, you orang India, you orang Semenanjung. Apa you buat dekat Sarawak? Apa you tahu tentang Sarawak? Sedangkan saya sendiri pun tak tahu saya punya community berapa jumlah sekarang. Tapi suami saya lebih tahu lebih banyak dari saya. Dia lah sebenarnya orang Sarawak. Dia sebenarnya orang bawang. Apa lagi saya tak tahu lah, tak pernah cakap depan dengan orang macam ni. Dalam sejuk dekat sini lagi lah saya sejuk. Saya minta maaf saya sebenarnya support suami saya saja. Apa dia buat, saya harap akan membuat perubahan untuk khususnya orang Sarawak lah. Kita memang perlukan hospital dekat sana. Saya pernah bersalin anak pertama saya memang dekat hospital Lawas sana. Atau dia punya katil tu dekat dinding sini tahu. Single bed dekat dinding sini, dia punya nurse duduk sana. Hari lepas saya bersalin tu, diorang terus keluarkan saya pergi saya punya katil tu. Lepas tu saya mau pergi tangkas, saya turun kan kita masih kena settle down dulu lagi, masih pening-pening tu lagi. Saya mau pergi toilet, saya turun. Lepas sudahlah saya susah mau turun, saya cakap dengan dia, Nas tak boleh lah saya bangun, saya cakap dengan dia. Bangunlah sendiri, dia cakap. Kan tak dekat saja sana, dia cakap dengan saya. Hai, yo, pergi mati lah. Dalam hati saja saya cakap macam tu. Kalau engkau sendiri macam ni, dah lah dia sana. Tak mau tolong orang lagi, saya pergi tangga sana, pengsan lagi saya sana, duduk lagi. Tak boleh tengok apa semua gelap saja. Tak ada orang datang tolong. Yang takkan kita suruh yang datang bersih-bersih tu, nurse tu buat apa dekat sana? Dorang kalau saya rasa lah kalau sebagai seorang nurse tu tempat perkampungan desa semua sana kita kena lebih perhatian lah dengan orang-orang sana. Jangan suka-suka sembarangan cakap. Orang sana dia lebih sensitif, terutama lah ibu-ibu. Saya sendiri pun memang terkena dengan bahasa yang macam tu, yang memang tak sedap hati lah mendengar. So harap-harap perubahan dekat Sarawak sana akan banyak membantu orang-orang Sarawak, terutamanya hospital. Cuba buat sesuatu yang lebih baik untuk orang Sarawak. Apa lagi ya? Tak ada lagi lah. Semua dari saya dia banyak explain.
That is not part of the plan. She's not supposed to say that I'm stubborn and all. We'll have to have an in-depth discussion about that later. So I don't know what else to say. We hope that we can upload this in YouTube and send a message, strong message to Najib. And this one, okay. Any questions? Anybody wants to ask any question? You don't ask.
And you have to cross the border 4 times. You have to go into Brunei once, come out of Brunei, enter Brunei again, come out of Brunei again before you reach Lawas. There is still a ferry you have to cross. There are no roads. And this is fact. Many people from Semenanjung have not been to Sabah or Sarawak. What you've seen in the pictures are true. It's not, they take the worst photographs to shock you or anything. That is everyday life. I have driven from KK to Long Pasir on the mud tracks like that, and I think it's no different from Miri to Long Semadoh. On a rainy day, you go 3 steps forward and then your car slide back 3 steps back. If you want to talk about wealth and you see the roads in Brunei compared to the roads in Sarawak, even the signboards, the quality of the roads, okay, it's like day and night. The signboards in Brunei, they're as big as the side of a bus. Every 100 meters there's one signboard before the junction. In Sarawak, when you cross the border to Brunei, there's not even any signboard, and when there is a signboard, sometimes it's so small, it's like 2 feet by 3 feet like that, you can miss the signboard. So the quality of the roads is different. When you enter Brunei, you enter Sarawak, because you have to cross the border so many times, you can see sungguh ketara the differences in the road. Saudara Lawrence has also mentioned about the General Hospital in Kota Kinabalu. Let me tell you, the General Hospital in Kota Kinabalu is so not much better. Queen Hospital is actually condemned. They have to tear it down because when they built it with sea sand, and the sea sand had corroded the rebars, and eventually the whole hospital had to be torn down and rebuilt. In the meantime, they operate a very strange system where the hospital is divided into 2. They also make use of Likas Hospital. So sometimes they take X-ray in one hospital, send a patient to the other hospital, the records didn't come, send them to take another X-ray again because they lost the records, something is here. Can you imagine you have one hospital on 2 campuses about 12 kilometers apart? It's really kelang kabut. I've also been to the hospital in Beaufort. The operating theatre there, since the hospital was built, cannot be used. There's an indoor air quality problem there. There's infection, things like that. So these are the kind of things where people in Sarawak and Sabah get shortchanged. So I can tell you for a fact, because I've been and seen for myself what it's like in Laos. I've also seen the hotel. I think I was there a year ago, it was just completed, and it's a very glamorous hotel, and it's sad. It makes me sad, and today, hearing what I've heard today, it makes me sad, and it also makes me angry. And I think it should also make you angry at the amount of corruption, the amount of people being greedy. And I once calculated about 1 million ringgit. I said if I had 1 million ringgit and I eat $100 steak every day, I think 30 years or so tak habis. So 6 million, 10,000 a month. It's a lot of money, and I think I'd like to share with you what the Dalai Lama said. If you fulfill your needs, you can live on very little, but you can never fulfill your wants, because your wants is limitless. So even if you have all the money in the world, it will not be enough, because you want the next iPad 3, the next iPhone 5, you want, there are limitless things that you can want. But if you think of what you actually need, nutrition and your daily basic things, you can survive with very little. So that's all I want to share. I sympathize very much with what they've gone through. In fact, I must congratulate Lawrence for a subject that is very close to his heart, and he could easily have become a very emotionally charged kind of speech, but he was very factual, and in being factual, he's given you the facts, it armed you with information. So thank you for that, because it was something very close to him, and you can imagine how it could have been a very emotional lecture rather than a factual lecture. So it's been very informative. I will upload my video to YouTube. I also want you to introduce you to some people I know who are medical people in PKR in Sabah who can be able to come. Okay, thank you.
So, anybody else? Yeah.
I just wanted to share a story.
Come in front. Introduce yourself, where you're from, your name, and
I'm Andrita Injan from Limbang, Sarawak. So I just want to share a story that this one I mix Malay and English again. So last year my auntie passed away. Her house near to Limbang, Batu Danau Clinic Desa. So they sent her to the Clinic Desa at night. She used to go there, got asthma, then they'll give oxygen. So that day, it seems that they go there, and then one of the nurse said, oxygen, no oxygen. One of the staff forget to order. So she passed away that night. But the family don't know what to do, you see. They are from Kampong. So they just try to tell one of the matron from our relatives. So just tell them that no oxygen in the hospital, they don't know how to sew or everything, And then hospital Limbang, one of my friend, husband engineer from Perak, but he stay in Limbang. So he said, in case anything happened to me, you don't send me to hospital Limbang. You send me straight to Miri. Because every time they bring patient, healthy from the house, come to Limbang hospital, 1 week, will die. Yeah. And then the doctor, so if you see the patient 80 years old or 70 plus, they say, oh, dah lama hidup dah kecil, So, memang diorang tak berapa nak ni lah, tengok muda kan, But for us, because that is my experience looking after my father, dekat hospital lah. But because my sister is a nurse, so the treatment is a little bit okay lah, compared to all the others. That is and then one thing, Clinic Desa, the driver there will stay in this kampung there. So if emergency, they will call him, and the patient will wait for the driver to come to the clinic and bring to the big general hospital. That is the case lah. But nobody dare to say it out and voice it out. Only that. Okay, thank you.
So, anybody else? No? Okay.
Do you still want to proceed the court case or future court case? It's called the Kam Agong.
Oh no, I can't bring any action against the government anymore because we already won the case. There's nothing more we can bring. About the false signature, the government must bring action against the doctor. But really, it is not all, we don't need all this. We just want a proper healthcare. We want a good hospital in Lawas and in Sarawak. Enough of all this. I want to put an end to this. We just want a hospital. In fact, when we returned in 2010, March 2010, to Sarawak, Lawas with the whole family, if we had seen a nice hospital, a proper healthcare, a specialist, a gynecologist in Lawas Hospital, I don't think I'll be standing here in front of this forum. There's no need for this forum. So this is the most important thing. They are delaying everything. That's what he said. You know, they give little bit by little bit. They left generator to Agnes's father for the Pemulu. The whole village will get 1 or 2 generators, but there's no electricity. Water, first time I went to the kampung, there's no tap to turn off the water. The water was pouring continuously because it's all connected by bamboo pipe from the mountains, which is healthy, which is good. But then again, there's no treated water for us to drink. No electricity, no road. This sort of thing, you know, I can go on and on and on and on. But we just want a hospital. We want the government to be answerable. We want the government to be accountable for every single death, every single mishap, every single medical negligence that has happened and taking place right now in Sarawak. And also in, throughout Malaysia, but especially in Sarawak, it's horrible. Alright, shall we conclude? Yes? We will conclude this and we will, I think, despite we don't have the crowd here, but we have quality crowd here, people with heart here. And that is what most important thing. People with a heart and people who are going to go out and make the difference. You're going to be the voice. Few of us here, we are going to be the voice and we will terrorize Barisan National Government, UMNO government, Taib's government and his family, all his cronies with this issue. Alright? I told a couple of months ago, no, I told this February 19th when Jeremiah Jordan was born. I commented on my Facebook on Kami Mau Taib Taib Mahmud's nightmare starts today. And it has started. And Kam Agong will be the biggest nightmare. Alright? And we will have to do that. We will make it happen. Because this man has robbed uncontrollably, corrupted. There's no limit to his corruption. And we want him to answer every mother in Sarawak, answer the government, the federal government will have to answer to every mother in Malaysia. Right? Thank you very much, especially Gusty and Darren, for coming and participating here and highlighting all these issues. Forget about what Agnes said. Okay?